Joanna Bell, political commentator. Joanna, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
It looks as though things are going from bad to worse for Starmer. Air Fast 1, it says on the front page of The Sun. Yet another failure to send anybody out to France for 2 days in a row. They might as well just cancel this whole operation, mightn't they?
Oh, big time. 10,000 in, 0 out. And, you know, they're more than happy to use public money to pay for the legal representation. I'm sure those flights were paid for.
Yeah.
That's money down the drain. You know, Starmer, he just speaks from the lips, but not from the heart. He's a liar. And he knew right well, he's a human rights barrister. He knew right well that those people wouldn't be deported. It's a complete disgrace, and he's making a mockery of the British taxpayer.
He really is, because he's wasting more and more of our money. And Shabana Mahmood, who came in a sort of whirlwind of, you know, I'm going to stop at nothing, I'm going to, you know, make it my life's work to get rid of these migrants, to make sure that they never come here, and if they do come here, they're going to be detained and deported. And it's all just rubbish, isn't it?
It's all lies. You know, it shouldn't even have made it. It's just giving more of a case to get rid of the ECHR.
Yeah.
You know, the judges should have no say over these deportations. And these immigrants shouldn't even have access to our legal system.
No.
Now, there's people who have paid tax their whole life who wouldn't get the benefits that these people are getting.
Right. Well, they're getting legal aid, aren't they? They're getting legal aid to challenge our government's wish to deport them on the grounds that they're illegal. It's mad.
It's just completely demoralizing, you know, for hardworking British people who do the right thing, and then they're in a worse off financial state than some of these immigrants. Right. You know, like you say, you know, there was that guy in Hyde Park, the rapist of Hyde Park. He's wandering around the streets without any checks. He should have, you know, an electronic tag on him. They shouldn't be allowed to wander the streets. We don't know where they've come from, what they've done in their own countries, and yet he's free to sexually assault a woman walking home at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah. It's not, you know, it's not something that should be allowed. They should have tabs on them at all times. And this is what the repayment is for putting this guy up in a hotel, 4-star hotel in Ealing. Right. He goes out and rapes someone. It's absolutely disgraceful, and people are sick of it.
Exactly right. I mean, he's been sentenced to 8.5 years in prison, thankfully. His name is Abdel Rahman Adnan Abu Layla. He's from Egypt, right, where apparently he has a wife and children living in Egypt. So what the hell he's doing here, it's anybody's guess anyway. But he came here illegally. He approached a 42-year-old woman as she was walking alone in November last year through the park, lured her to a secluded spot in the park, and then raped her. He first arrived in the UK in 2023, saying that he needed asylum from Egypt for fear of persecution. But he's got a family living there.
I mean, who's persecuted in Egypt? For what? I've been to Egypt. It seems...
Well, people go on holiday there.
Well, exactly. You know, it's just a farce. It's a complete joke. And we're just a laughingstock of the world, Mike. And something has to give here. Yeah. Because how much more can the British public take? The country's about to go into recession. Yeah. There's no growth. You know, Rachel Reeves, she's about to put the taxes up again. She has no choice. They talk about growth, and yet they can't do anything about it. They can't make the finances better in England, and you know, this whole government has to go.
They really do. I mean, the point about the budget today is that we got more warnings from the Treasury that the Office for Budget Responsibility next month are going to basically give their first economic forecast, which will include a new assessment of productivity, and they're going to downgrade it because nobody's producing anything in this country because they don't have any money to do so, right? And so apparently that's going to make tax rises even more likely. We've got new inflation figures out today, which I think have been artificially tampered with because we're told they're remaining at 3.8%. Everybody knows the prices of everything is going up all the time. And you go to the shops to buy your groceries, and it's gone up another 10 or 20 quid from last week.
Well, that's the thing, Mike. Everything's going up. People have less. I was talking to, you know, a guy the other day, and he said, you know, I used to be able to go on one holiday a year, and he said, I'm earning the same money, and he can't afford to do that this year. And I said, you know, everybody's feeling the squeeze here. Yeah. People have less money in their pocket, and the government are just clueless. They don't know how to grow the economy. They're just a bunch of losers. Yeah.
Well, when you read and watched Keir Starmer, you know, last week talking about the Mandelson situation and how he had sent, you know, he had seen some questions that had been sent to Peter Mandelson, but he hadn't seen the answers. you wonder to yourself, I'm not surprised this country is being run into the ground, because this bloke doesn't seem to know how to do anything. You know, he's the Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, right? And he doesn't know how to lift up the phone to call Peter Mandelson to say, oi, we need to answer some questions here. You better do it before I go into Prime Minister's questions, so that I don't look like a complete idiot. Instead of which he goes in and gives him his full confidence one day before sacking him.
Well, exactly. He was told that there might be incriminating emails. He says that, you know, he didn't know. But, you know, everybody knew about his relationship with Epstein.
Of course.
He's lying. I mean,
he's also admitted that. He admitted it in this interview that he gave to Channel 4 News, that he knew about their relationship. So that should have been enough to say, in that case, he can't be ambassador, surely.
Well, it should be enough for Keir Starmer to resign. Boris Johnson had to resign over Chris Pincher, over pretending that he didn't know about his abuse.
Misleading the House.
Exactly. And the same thing has happened for Keir. So why is he not resigning? I think this should be a sackable offence, but he is not resigning. He doesn't show any signs of stepping down, and he's completely out of his depth. He's a barrister, not a PM. He shouldn't be in politics at all.
No.
He should be with his friends trying to, you know, keep immigrants in the country, because he seems to be doing a very good job.
But he's already doing that. It's just that he's not he's actually not doing it in a court of law, but he might as well be. But it is incredible, isn't it? I can't understand how he hasn't left the office of Prime Minister. I don't think he's going to be there very long. We understand that Mandelson is going to sort of drip feed out a whole bunch of pieces of information about Starmer, which will end up bringing him down. We also know there's a new book coming out. It's based in the Mail today, saying there's a new book coming out next month, which is going to sort of lay bare the relationship between Morgan McSweeney and the Prime Minister, and it ain't going to be good for him.
No, it's definitely not going to be good. But, you know, if he does resign or is forced to resign, who's going to take his place, Mike? It's it's a really depressing situation at the minute. But we're all excited to read about what's in the book. But I think we all know it's a complete shambles in number 10, right? I don't think we need a book to tell us that. So far, he has completely just passed the buck. He keeps kicking the can down the road. The British public just can't take any more of this. I mean, we thought it was bad with the previous government, but it can't get any worse.
They're starting to look like geniuses compared to this lot, though, aren't they?
It's true. Right. Bring back Boris, I say.
I mean, honestly, we all thought the Tories were hopeless and hapless, and I always blame the Tories. It's actually all fault for screwing it up to such an extent that we ended up with this ridiculous Labour government. But it is extraordinary how, you know, every single day I come to work and I think, well, it can't get any worse for them. And it does. It gets worse every day.
Yeah, bad to worse. I mean, it's completely demoralising. This once great country is the laughing stock of the world.
Yeah.
He said he was going to get 0% for the steel tariffs, and now it's 25%. So him sucking up to Trump hasn't helped at all.
No. And now he's got Sadiq Khan making a nuisance of himself again, because Sadiq Khan's given an interview to The Guardian saying that he thinks Donald Trump's the biggest danger to the world in terms of rousing the kind of far-right divisions in the entire world. And so, you know, when Starmer gets to meet Trump again, because don't forget last time they saw each other, Starmer was like, oh, he's a friend of mine, actually, when Trump called him a nasty person. You know,
it's so cringe.
It's really awful.
When you put a video up there earlier and, you know, Keir Starmer is saying he's anti-Trump, I mean, how can he sit with this guy and then pretend that he's, you know, he likes him? It's just ridiculous. And then to stand up for Sadiq Khan, who, I think the reason that Trump doesn't like Sadiq is because he had that big inflatable Trump.
Right. Well, he's a pretty unlikable character, to be fair.
Sadiq?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't need many reasons not to like him.
I just think they're just so poor at international relations. You know, this is the president of the United States, and they're, you know, openly trashing him, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I think Sadiq should resign after that interview he gave. He
really should. But I mean, he's now become, I think, the highest paid public servant in Britain. As a result of his latest pay rise. So I don't suppose he's going anywhere anytime soon. That's why the only good thing is why he doesn't want to become Prime Minister. He doesn't have to take a pay cut, you know. But there we are. Listen, Joanna, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.